This is Can't Escape, a Nora Price Mystery, Book 3, written by Kate Bold, read by Vivienne. Prologue. Not again. Keith Thayer hated when the security alarms were triggered at one of the 6 abandoned buildings his firm monitored. It meant that he'd have to leave his cozy basement office to check out the situation personally. As the autumn season approached, the temperatures late at night and early in the morning were the coldest, and he hated the cold. However, he didn't have much of a choice. They were short-staffed, and none of the empty buildings had on-site security personnel. It was a cost savings his company offered, but it was also a pain when things like this happened. He sighed as he pulled up outside the dilapidated, darkened Newell Auto Shop, rural Blackburn County, Massachusetts' only automotive body shops. He didn't see any immediate signs of a break-in. Another false alarm, I hope. Keith had never worked in the field before. He wasn't a former military or a retired cop. He didn't have a license to carry a concealed weapon like some of the other guys, and probably couldn't shoot a gun if he wanted to, and he wasn't sure if his tire iron was still in the trunk. What are you going to do if there's someone inside? Keith shook the thought from his mind. There was no time to panic. He had work to do. He locked his car and did his best to march as confidently as possible to the partially boarded-up glass door. He hoped if anyone was inside and they saw him coming, they'd be at least a little intimidated. Keith pulled the ring of keys from his pocket and tried each key until the lock clicked. He never could remember which key went where. He tapped the flashlight app on his phone and held it in front of him as he tentatively walked into the deserted building. "Security! If anyone's here, now's the time to show yourself," he called out into the darkness, doing his best to sound big and boisterous, although he was neither. The light swept across the floor, illuminating piles of snapped boards and broken tiles. The place had never been very orderly. Each step into the building grew more and more precarious. He knew the general layout of the place, but he could not remember where the service bays were. He felt certain he'd seen a couple of garage doors out front, which could be for storage or service. Just as he shined the light back in front of him, he caught himself before he stepped straight into an open pit. That would have hurt, he thought, skirting around it. Keith arced the light off to the left, and then to the right to identify the perimeter of the service bay carved into the floor. He noticed some stairs against one of the walls off to the right that appeared to go down into the service bay. "If anyone's down there, now's your chance to get out of here," he bellowed. Then, he listened to the darkness and waited to...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?